Well, in this video, I'm going to discuss about the operators and expressions in the Java programming language. The Java operators are classified into arithmetic operators, relational operators, bitwise operators, logical operators, assignment operators, and miscellaneous operators. So we'll see them one by one. Now, the arithmetic operations are those operations that are performed by the arithmetic operators. The arithmetic operators are plus, minus, that is subtract, asterisk noted for multiplication, division, modulus, and that is the remainder, and the increment and decrement. In increment and decrement, they can be post increment or pre increment, or post decrement and pre decrement operators. You can see in these examples, like adding and subtracting the values, they perform their natural function. Like suppose you want to divide, then the symbol is used. And for modulus, modulus means the remainder. Suppose 5 modulo 2 will give 1 in that case. And simple increment and decrement operators will add and subtract 1 from the variable. Now there's one example that I would like to discuss with you. Like suppose there are 4 variables A, B, C and D. A is having the value of 10 when it is initialized, B is initialized with 20, C is initialized with 25, and D is also initialized by 25. Now people who are not knowing, or the students who are not knowing what the system.out.println means, I want to say that system.out.println is the way in which we can print, one of the many ways in which we can print or send information to the desktop. We can output it. Okay, so A plus B will simply print 30, and A minus B will print minus 10. It is obvious that 10 minus 20 gives minus 10. Then A into B, that is this operator, the asterisk operator is a multiplication operator. Then A into B will give 200. Then B divided by A will give 2, and B modulo A will give 0. Why? Because 0 times divides 10, so in that case the remainder is 0. And then there is a C modulo A, like C is 25 and A is 10. So C modulo A will give 5. Why? Because 10 2 times equals 20, and the remainder 25 minus 20 is 5. Okay, so now here, as you can say, that we are applying a post increment operator in A on A. Like A plus plus will give what? A's initial value is 10, so A plus plus will give 10. Why is this 10? Because first it will use the value of A and then it will increment it. So in this statement, as soon as the statement is executed, the value will be incremented by 1, but before that it will contain its original or initial value. So it will print A plus plus in this line will print 10, but as this A will reach the next line, it will be 11. Then it will print 11, and again there is a post decrement operator. Then this final value will be obviously 10. Now what is D plus plus? D plus plus is again post increment, so the value of D plus plus will be 25, and this is pre-increment D. This will be 26 plus this will become 26 from after this statement D, and then by pre-incrementing it will first get incremented, and then the statement will change, or for that statement the pre-increment operator will perform its addition first. So in that case the 26 will become 27. Okay. Now these things which we discussed now were the arithmetic operators, and there are other operators as well, like the relational operators. Now what are relational operators? Relational operators change function to check for a relational condition, or a condition like if there are 2 numbers, then whether one is greater than the other, or equal to the other, or less than equal to, or these kind of comparisons can be made by using the relational operators. Now if we have to check that whether two the value of the two variables is equal to the same value. They both have the same value. Then in that case we use double equal to sign. It checks if the two operands are equal or not. If yes, then the condition becomes true, like double equals to. Okay, suppose A is 5 and B is 5, and we want to check whether both of them are holding the same value, whether the variables are having the same value, then we use double equal to sign. And if we want to check that whether two values are not same, then we use this not equal to sign with exclamation mark or, and just after we put the equal to sign, that is, this is known as not equal to. Okay, then this is simple greater, like if two values, two integer values or two float values or double values are there, and if one is greater than the other, it will be true. Then for that comparison we need the greater than relational operator. In case we need to check that whether first value is less than the second value, then we will use the less than operator. Suppose we want to check that whether it is greater than or equal to the next other value, then we can use greater than or equal to symbol. And if we want to check that whether it is less than or equal to, then we will use this function, this operator likewise. Okay. Now this is a very simple example that is depicting the usage of relational operators. Like what is happening over here is, first we have two variables A and B. A is initialized to 10 and B is initialized to 20. Both are integers. Then we need to print if both are equal, but in our case they are not equal. So if we print simply that A equals to B, then this will definitely result into a false condition. So it will print false. Now if we print that whether A is not equal to B, then in that case it will print true, because these two values are not the same. Then if A is greater than B, A is 10 and B is 20. So this condition A is greater than B is definitely leading us to a false conclusion. So this is false. But A is less than B is true. Okay, so this statement will print true. Whether B is greater than or equal to A, yes, B is greater than or equal to A, this will print true. And whether B is less than or equal to A, no, it will print false. So this is a very easy example for us to understand exactly what a relational operator does. Now another important operator is the bitwise operator. In fact, it is a collection of many operators. These are known as bitwise operators, and Java defines several bitwise operators. Okay, they can bitwise operators can be performed on long, int, short, char, and byte data types. This is important, that not every data type supports bitwise operator. So what exactly bitwise operators do? Actually, the number system, the method of storing the various data type values like integer or float or char or double, it is all done in the binary language. Okay, so whatever a variable whatever value a variable has, suppose it is having a value, suppose 60, then a 60 will be first converted into binary and then it will be stored. So each and every variable that is among the long, int, short, char or byte can be converted into binary notation, and at the same time, if it can be converted into a binary notation, then bitwise operators can be performed on it. So here we see an example, like suppose A is 60 and B is 13. Then if we convert it into binary code, then it will become, A will become 0011 and 1100, and B will become 00001101. Okay. So whatever bitwise operators operations we will perform on the binary equivalent of these integers, that is as shown A and B. Okay. So the various operators in the bitwise sector are, this is simple ampersand, and this is known as binary AND operator. Now what does a binary AND operator does? Actually it will do what it will perform the AND operation between the various bits of the two numbers in which the ANDing has been done. Like A and B will give what? It will compare the, it will not compare, it will add the bits at the relevant positions, like respective positions, like 0, 1 will give 0 and 1 will give 0. Now 0 and 0 will give 0. 1 and 1 will give 1, and 1 and 1 will again give 1. And in this case, so the outer the 4 bits, like 1101, ending with 110 will give all zeros. Okay, not all zeros, sorry. Yes, I was talking about bitwise operators. Like what we did was, we perform bitwise AND between the two variables A and B. A is having the value of 60 and B is having the value of 13. We have converted these values to binary, and then we are ANDing bit by bit the whole the integers. Okay, so this will result into what? A and B will give 12. Why? Because these 4 bits, as you can see, are going to result in 4 zeros, because ending of anything with 0 will give definitely 0. And then if 1100 is and is has been done, is ended with 1101, it will give 1100. So 1100 will be equal to 12. So the bitwise AND operation between these two numbers 60 and 13 will give 12. Okay. Now what is bitwise ORing? Bitwise AND is done in the similar fashion. The binary OR operator also can be performed. It performs the ORing. Now what is ORing? If we perform ORing, first of all, the symbol used for binary OR is a pipe. Okay. Now what will happen if we perform A or B? Then it will do bitwise ORing of all the bits individually of the two given variables. Like 1 and 0 will result into 1, 0 and 0 will result into 0, 1 and 1 will result in 1, 1 and 1 will result in 1, and then in these bits, like 1 and in this 1 and 0 will result in 1, another 1 and 0 will result into 1, and the previous two 0 bits, and here also they are 0, so they will result into 0, 0. So what integer will we get? We will get 61. So 61 is the result of A ORing with B. Now there is another operator known as the binary XOR operator that copies the bit if it's set in one operand but not both. Like it means that what is XOR, you might be knowing that suppose there are two bits 1 and 0, then 1 XOR 0 gives 1, 0 XOR 1 gives 1, but 1 XOR 1 gives 0, and 0 XOR 0 gives 0. So in that case, we will do the same things as we applied in AND and OR operators. We will check the individual XORing between the various bits, and we will then convert that number into decimal, which will come out to be 49. Okay. Now what is the ones complement operator? The binary ones complement operator is shown by a tilde. Okay, and it is a unary operator, as we can say that it is performed on a particular variable, and whenever this tilde operator or the binary ones complement operator is performed on a particular variable, what happens is that variable is all the zeros are converted to 1 and all the ones in that variable are converted to 0, and that number is converted into the decimal value. And as you can see in this example, that it is giving a result of minus 61. Okay. Now there are two other operators in the bitwise operator section which are very important. One is the binary left shift operator, then there is the binary right shift operator. Now what is a binary left shift and a right shift operator? When we apply a binary left shift operator, then what happens is the preceding bit is dropped, and the whole bit Yes, I was talking about the binary left shift operator and the binary right shift operator. So a binary left shift operator means that whenever it is applied on a particular variable, then the leftmost bit is dropped and the whole pattern of the bits is shifted towards left, and at the end a new 0 bit is introduced at the tail of that particular variable. Then this is binary left shift operator. Whenever we binary left shift an operator, what happens is the number gets multiplied by 2. And in the case of binary right shift operator, whenever a binary right shift operator is performed on a particular variable, then that the rightmost bit is dropped and the whole pattern is shifted towards right, and a new 0 bit is inserted at the starting of the whole bit pattern of that variable. In that case, what happens is it gets divided by 2. So whenever we perform a bitwise left shift operator, then it gets multiplied by 2, and in the case of right shift, it gets divided by 2. So these are the things that one should take proper care. And then there is shift right 0 fill operator. The left operand's value is moved right by the number of bits specified by the right operand, and shifted values are filled up with zeros. Now in binary left shift operator and the binary right shift operator, there was only one bit that is moved left or right. But in case of the shift right 0 fill operator, the argument that is provided with that particular operator, it is the number of times that the bit is dropped and subsequent zeros are filled. Okay. This is an example. This is an example that deals with the bitwise operations performed on variables. Suppose here A is 60. Okay, then this is the binary pattern, and for B is equal to 13, then C is equal to 0 is given. Now C is having a binary ANDing between A and B. As we have discussed this example, this will result into 12. Similarly, A or B will result into 61. A XOR B, this exponentiation is the symbol that is used for XORing. So A XOR B will result into 49, and there is a negation of a particular variable like A will result into minus 61. This left shift of 2 will, for A's value is A is 60. As you can see, we have left shifted it twice, so it is getting multiplied by 2, and then again it is going to be multiplied. It is again getting multiplied by 2. It is then the resultant 240 is attained, and as we divide it by and as we perform the right shift twice of A, then we are getting 250. Okay. So this was a very not very detailed but quite a comprehensive discussion for the bitwise operators. Now the other operators that are in the list are the logical operators. Okay. Now what are logical operators? Logical operators are the operators that perform logically that perform whether they perform a function that whether the two expressions are how they are related, that we can perform logical AND, we can perform logical ORing, and we can also perform logical NOT, that is performing the whether the negation of a particular condition. Like the logical ANDing is performed by double ampersand operation, and logical ORing is performed by double pipe, and the negation of the NOT operator is performed using the exclamation. So this is very easy. Like as we can see here, that boolean A is true, is said to be true in fact, and then boolean B is equal to false. Then system.out.println A and B. Now if we are doing A logical and B, then true logical and false will definitely give us false. So as you can see over here, this is false. If we are doing ORing with this, then it has to give true, because one value is true, one is false. So whenever we are performing logical OR, we need at least one condition to be true, and that will result into the final truth value of true. Then suppose here we are doing a negation of A and B. Now A and B is giving false, so the negation or the not of A and B, or A double ampersand B, logical and B, will result into negation of false, that is true. Okay. Now what are the assignment operators in Java? The assignment operators are used to assign values, to set values of variables. Like a simple equal to operator is an assignment operator. If we create a variable, suppose of integer data type like int A, and then we perform assignment, that is equals to 4, then this is simple assignment which is done by equal to operator. If I want to add some value to it, like A is equal to A plus 2. Now this A is equal to A plus 2 can also be written as, we have the liberty in Java by using the plus equals to operator, the operator sign and equal to appended with it. Okay, so A is equal to A plus 2 can also be written in Java as A plus equals to 2. In the same manner, minus equals to means A is equal to A minus 2. Okay, and this can also be performed with the multiply, divide and modulus operators. Okay, and at the same time this is also true for left shift and right shift operators, and the bitwise and bitwise OR and bitwise inclusive OR operators. Okay, so these are primarily the whole bunch of operators that can be used in Java. There's another category which is known as miscellaneous operators. Now what are these miscellaneous operators? Miscellaneous operators can be used in their own specific ways, like conditional operator, or the ternary operator, the tertiary operator, that is known as it is shown by, or it is used by using the symbol of question mark and a colon. Now what exactly a conditional operator is? This conditional operator is capable of performing a decent conditional expression getting evaluated through it. Like conditional operator is also known as a ternary operator. This operator consists of 3 operands, okay, and is used to evaluate Boolean expressions. The goal of the operator is to decide which value should be assigned to the variable. The operator is written as, the syntax, you should focus on this, how it is working, like variable x is equal to expression. Now here you can write a conditional expression. Okay, if it is true, then this will be executed, and if it is false, then this will be executed. So there are three characters that are used. First of all, there is an equal to, then there is a question mark, and then there is a colon. So variable x, suppose I had to write like I have to find the greater among 2 variables. Okay, so I will write int x is equal to, in that expression I will write a greater than b, then question mark a colon b. So in that case, the greater of the 2 number will be assigned to the variable which is at the left side of the equal to sign. Okay, then this example tells us about the story of this conditional operator. Like here what we are doing is a is equal to 10, b is equal to, a is equal to 1. Now this condition, what is this doing? This is a condition, okay, a is equal to 1, but a is equal to 10, so a is not equal to 1. In that case 30 will be assigned to b, so 30 will be output. Okay, and in this one, like if a is equal to 10, that this condition is true, then 20 will be assigned to b, and so it will get printed over here. Now there is another operator that is used in Java. This is known as instance of operator. Java is an object-oriented programming language, as we all know, and instance means the object. Okay, suppose there is a class employee, and then there is an object of class employee, which is suppose emp1. Now, if we want to find in some in our code at some time, like what is the class of, or what is the user-defined data type, if I should say, like what is the class of emp1, then what should we do? I don't know exactly. It is getting used in like emp1 is used somewhere in the code, and I want to find out that what is the class of this particular instance. Then the instance of operator is very useful. You can see example over here. String name is equal to James. Boolean result is equal to name instance of string. Now instance of string will return true if name is an instance of a string. That instance of a string operator will return true, and so this expression will also return true. Okay, so now we have studied the various operators and the various different types of operators that are used in Java programming language. Now we also should know, and we must know in fact, what is the precedence of Java operators. Now what is precedence? Precedence means suppose there is an expression involving more than one operator, then in that case it has to be executed in some way, like multiplication can take the greater weightage as compared to other like plus or minus. Then there should be proper recognition of the precedence of brackets or other symbols involved. So this is also true in maths. When we evaluate an expression in maths, we follow the rule of BODMAS, like bracket of division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. So that is known as the precedence of Java operator. That is known as precedence, and it is used in Java. So for the purpose of evaluating a particular expression. Okay. So operator precedence determines the grouping of terms in an expression. This affects how an expression is evaluated. Certain operators have higher precedence than others. For example, the multiplication operator has higher precedence than the addition operator. So we should be very clear that whatever we are writing is what we have to write and what we understand regarding it. We don't get error in case of not knowing what precedence should be put. Okay. So then suppose for a very simple example, like x is equal to 7 plus 3 into 2. Now what will happen? Now according to the precedence level, the multiplication is always at a higher side as compared to plus. So 3 into 2 will be evaluated first. This will return to 6, and then 7 plus 6 will give you 13. So the answer will be 13 in this precedence order. Okay, so you can see the postfix category has the operator, suppose bracket and the square bracket and the dot operator. These follow the associative. What is associativity? Actually, associativity is a term that is concerned with the precedence. Precedence is among different operators, and associativity is between the operators of the same precedence. Okay, so suppose there are 2 plus symbols or 2 plus operators that are used in a particular expression. Then when we are following from left, then we have to follow left to right in order for evaluating our expression. Okay, so the bracket and the parenthesis and the square brackets follow the left to right rule, associativity. Then the plus and minuses and the not and the tilde follow right to left, and in this in the same way these all operators are shown their associativity. Okay, this is the whole precedence order, as you can see. Now this, please don't get confused with this plus as addition. This is the increment decrement operator. Okay, this is in the rows it is shown the precedence of the Java operators, and associativity is shown in this column. Okay, like as you can see, multiplication is at the topmost level, the precedence is of parenthesis or the array brackets, square brackets, then the unary operator, then the multiplication or division, and the modulus operator all fall in the same category of precedence. Then the additive and the shift, then the shift of operators, relational, equality, bitwise and, bitwise XOR, then or, bitwise or, logical and, logical or, conditional, that is the ternary operator which we discussed some time back, and then the assignment operators and the comma. So this is the whole precedence level of all the operators, and at the same time it is also showing the associativity. Okay, so now I will discuss about the conditional statements in Java. Now this lecture deals with the conditional statements in Java.